Anek is a story of two compatriots who are out on their individual quest to prove the strength of their common belief towards their country. Their quests comprise obstacles that have evolved due to their individual responsibilities. These responsibilities are unavoidable because they were accepted out of choice and not imposed forcefully. But the amount of internal conflict that these two citizens, these two characters must go through is making them question that very choice that initially came out of pride and a certain level of happiness. The first character in this story is Ido, a professional boxer who has proven her capability in the sport. She has the true potential of winning a gold medal for her country, but despite being a well deserved athlete, she is forced to pull back from displaying her skills and participating internationally. And that's not because she's considered an amateur, but because she's considered an outsider, a foreigner who doesn't belong to the country of which she is a rightful citizen. And to top it all, the place where she was born is being mocked as a foreign land despite being a rightful and prestigious part of the country. But this is also not the end of her plight and injustice. Before this scene, the audience gets a glimpse of her painful experience, not just inside the premises of a sports training facility and amongst her peers, but also on the outside, where she gets arrested by the police based on a pathetic assumption. She is captured along with her friends in a pub and ruthlessly questioned about the nature of her identity, which is grossly misunderstood by those who are meant to protect the law and the civilians constitutionally. These two opening scenes of the film are superbly crafted in terms of dialogue and cinematography. In the first scene, where Ido is captured and then heckled by the police, we witness the use of a double dolly shot, a dynamic camera movement that got popularized by the films of Spike Lee. A dolly shot is when you place the camera on a platform that will move closer or away from the character depending on the screenplay. But a double dolly shot is when you place both the camera and the character in focus on the platform and then move it accordingly. So, what it does is that you separate the subject from the background in a way that it stays motionless, but it will appear as if it is moving through spaces as the background glides past. Now, how this shot is serving this scene is by establishing that sense of separation, that feeling of being pulled away from normalcy, that feeling of being alienated from the surroundings. This is the first step of establishing that feeling of being a foreign citizen. So you can see that this is how the camera is moving because it is a double dolly shot. So both the camera and the actor, I cannot show you the video obviously, but both the camera and the actors are placed on that same platform, and then we can see the motion because of which the double dolly shot is happening. And we get this shot where Ido is crossing a bunch of players who are wearing the jerseys that highlight the name of the country that they represented in boxing. And you can see that Ido is not wearing that jersey, she is wearing just a grey and black attire. This is the moment when she's crossing the country players, and this is once again depicting that sense of separation and alienation because she is leaving those guys and those guys are like crossing her. So it creates that sense of separation once again for our character. So here you can see that the character of Ido is totally covered in the shadow, and the players who are wearing the jersey of their country are just crossing her. They have crossed her, they have gone inside the premises, so it also feels like they have got the entry, they have no barriers. But that is not the case with Ido. So this is a very good shot where we get to experience that sense of separation and alienation that the character is experiencing. These two shots are very nice. And this shot corroborates the harsh comments that were made by the senior boxing coach for Ido and her coach. And this is how we realize the emotional motivation and purpose of Ido's character. She wants to win the game not only to prove her own worth, but also the worth of a state that proudly belongs to the country that she considers herself to be a proud citizen of. The second character is an undercover agent whose alias is Joshua, whose mission is to ensure the smooth execution of signing a peace accord between the country's government and a separatist leader. And this mission is centered in the same state that Ido calls her hometown. Now, with the help of these two characters, the makers of Anek are traversing a harsh reality and its various implications on the lives of citizens like Ido and the undercover officer Joshua. while Ido and her struggles disclose the identity crisis that she has to go through just because she belongs to a particular region of a country. The struggles of Joshua depict the identity crisis of that region, that state itself. Joshua's mission unravels various complexities that are associated with that region in which he must serve his duty without displaying any rational approach. He's surrounded by a lot of hierarchical control that has tied his hands and keeps forcing him to focus on just the mission. But this persistence of thought is what gives birth to a series of internal monologues. His inner voice keeps talking to the viewers and asks some serious, hard hitting questions. Questions whose answers are with everyone and no one. Questions that challenge our beliefs and judgment towards segregation of a person based on his or her place of birth. Questions that force us to think about our very existence as human beings who have lived on this planet by creating boundaries. And then we have this scene where Joshua and his senior officer, both of them are in the car. They are driving away from the city. Joshua has captured him, and then he tells him that I am your senior officer. And then they both start chatting, and Ayushmann Khurrana's character raises a lot of questions in front of this character, his senior officer. And then we see this particular frame or this particular shot where the car of Ayushmann Khurrana's character has stopped at this point where we cannot see any boundary. So this is something very nice that the characters are talking about this exact same topic, that why are there so many boundaries, and what is the north, what is the south, how can you call someone from the, how can you say that someone hails from the northern part of the country, how can you say that someone hails from the southern part of the country, what is northeast, what is northwest. So all these questions are being discussed amongst these two characters, and we see this moment where Joshua stops at this point where there are no boundaries. There is absolutely no way that you can figure out that this land belongs to which part of the country. There are no boundaries at all. I hope I'm trying to make sense of what I want to say. So then we see Joshua and his senior talking about how their country is divided, and how, you know, all the things that are happening in their country are affecting everyone, not just one particular citizen, but everyone in the country is facing a lot of issues because of these boundaries, these dissections that have been done on the basis of language, on the basis of color, on the basis of clothing. There are a lot of factors that get discussed between these two characters. Along with these two characters, Anek throws light on the question that if a nation with all its heart swears on the idea of unity in diversity, what exactly is the cost of maintaining this unity? And do the people of this nation truly believe in that unity in diversity? Maybe not, because if they did, then people like Ido would not have to face such traumatic episodes in their lives. Will this nation consider her as its proud citizen only if she wins a gold medal? On the other end, Joshua's character shows us the bigger picture of the conflict that has probably become the way of attaining control in the name of peace. A nation whose beauty lies in its rich cultural heritage might just be experiencing a huge internal divide. And if this divide continues to grow, the belief of unity in diversity might just end up becoming a bland idea with a lost foundation. So, who can actually stop this? Who can bring the change? Who can come up with the hope of a new dawn that reinforces the idea of togetherness? The government? Sure. But who would form that government? The answer is simple. In fact, it has been the answer for ages. But now is the high time when that answer gets recognized by those very harbingers of change so that their nation can declare its proud victory on the global front. But what I could not understand is why did Anek not emerge as a clear winner at the box office? I mean, this film does a great job of portraying the presence of a contaminated mindset that is plaguing the minds of so many people, that is plaguing the society in general. I talked about the film in this particular video, so if you want, you can go ahead and check it out. And I will see you soon in the next one. Till then, if you've liked what you've seen and if you want to support this passion project, make sure you give this video a thumbs up, hit the red subscribe button, and press the bell icon so that you don't miss any other updates. I will see you soon in the next video. Till then, take care of yourself. Goodbye, stay safe, and as always, long live cinema.